Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Fund the Charity Room's Subpar Smash Brothers. We now, having gone through a couple of the different franchises, will be starting Kid Icarus for the NES. I am not going to guarantee good gameplay. I actually also am going to not guarantee that this gameplay window is going to be centered properly, but I think that's a little bit better than what it was. But I'm going to try my best. I will be using save states. I'm going to be doing it. I have no shame, and yeah. I'm going to be doing it. But yeah, so Sabrina, can you tell everybody why we're here today?
Sure. So we are here to raise money for the Diabetes Institute, for the Diabetes Research Institute, I'm sorry. And so far, we have met our goal of $10,000, which I am proud of everyone.
Yeah, that's insane that we've reached that goal so quick.
I know. And like, I was up at that time, and I just heard Caro screaming, and I'm like, what happened? And I saw that we reached the goal. I'm like, oh my god, it's amazing! Like it was like what, day 3 technically?
Day 3, yes.
Yeah. So I'm very proud of everyone and all of you guys for watching and supporting.
Yeah.
And yeah. So right now, for the Smash character in group, we have Pit, Palutena, and not Dark Pit because he didn't exist yet.
No, unfortunately, I would have probably had. Whoop, hold on. Yeah, I told you I was going to be shameless, so. Hold on, I can.
Oh, Elliot did the same thing for Ice Climbers, so.
Yeah, but anyway, I wanted to do Kid Icarus Uprising, but it's just
so long.
It's too long, unfortunately. It's a very long game, so we had to. Damn it! God. Okay. So we decided to go with the original because that was short enough to do in one sitting. And also it was a game people cared about because I guess we could have done Kid Icarus. We could have done Of Myths and Monsters or something. Actually, I remember we want to be on the other side of this. Actually, no, I lied. We want to be on the left side. I did practice this game some, but I'm still very bad at it.
I mean, like it is like an NES game, and those.
Yeah, no, this game is pretty hard. Oh wait, no, I did want to be on the other side because the other side had the door. Okay, damn it. All right. Yeah, I said I was gonna cheat, and I meant it. If I'm gonna cheat, I might as well cheat a lot, right?
Definitely.
Yeah. Ow. So
and
so we're here raising money for the Diabetes Research Institute. Did we say that already?
Yes.
Okay. Well, we're definitely doing that. At the moment, we are at past $11,000, if I remember correctly, which is nuts.
Yeah, we're at $11,630, which is insane.
But we still have stuff we want to raise money towards. So if we get to our $15,000 goal, we'll be doing the Subspace Emissary from Smash Brawl, which will be fun. So hopefully I think we can get to that.
I'm excited because I actually really like Subspace Emissary.
I have not gone back to it in a really long time, so I don't really remember how well it holds up. Hold on a moment. I'm just changing some of my my desktop layout stuff so that I can see chat and all that. There we go. There we go. That's better. Oh god.
You can turn the brightness down and you can say that's Dark Pit.
Oh Jesus Christ, the slowdown's awful.
Oh god.
Okay. Jeez. Okay, so I did get far enough in the game to like upgrade the bow so that you can shoot far away. Damn it. Get out of here.
He wants to reap you.
That sounds inappropriate.
Oh shit. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. Oh, no. Oh, not like that. Inappropriate. I meant like it just sounded sexual. Not like that. Well, I guess never mind. Anyway, moving on. What Kid Icarus games have you played, Sabrina?
I played Uprising, and I played this for maybe a minute, and I quit afterwards.
I can't blame you. It's a hard game to sit through, especially if you're playing it legitimately. I tried to play it legitimately for a little bit and just couldn't. And it's a fun little game. I just wish it were. It definitely feels you definitely can feel the age with it quite a bit in a number of different ways. Like there's a lot of archaic stuff about this game, and oh god.
Wait, I think I remember getting this game, I think with Kid Icarus Uprising, because I think it was like a pre-order bonus or something.
They did have the 3DS version where it had like 3D sprites or something.
Yeah,
I have not played that version. I don't know how much better it is. It could be
that's the version that I played.
Okay, it could be a good bit better.
Like, NES games are just not for me.
Yeah, there's not a lot of NES games that I can go back and play in their NES forms. Like, for me, I guess it's like the original Super Mario Brothers, Mega Man 2, I guess, not many others.
Just jumping in to say that I am here. I'm just going to be muted while I wolf down food.
Oh, no problem.
Okay.
I hate these assholes, for the record, the Reapers. God. Okay. Oh yeah. Also, there are different endings to this game depending on your score. I'm not going for a high score. So we're not going to see Buff Pit probably at the end of this. If we do see Buff Pit, that's a good bonus. But I'm not like aiming to get Buff Pit. I'm just trying to beat the game. So we'll see how that goes. Thankfully, we're already through stage 1, which isn't that bad.
I didn't even know that Buff Pit was a thing.
Yeah, so depending on how many points you get a different image at the end. Like, one of them is, like, if you get a really bad score, like, Palutena turns Pit into a speck nose, and and it's supposed to be a joke. If you get the if you get the best possible ending with a really high score, he, like, grows 12 feet tall and is, like, really buff. So that's what I mean by Buff Pit.
Do not Google Buff Pit. I'm scared.
Oh, yeah, probably not a smart idea. I don't know how much Kid Icarus porn there is, but considering Palutena, there's probably a fair amount, I would have to imagine.
I'm gonna tell you now, there is a lot.
There's a lot? Okay.
There's a lot. Don't ask me how I know. I just know that there's a lot.
Don't ask questions you aren't prepared to know the answers to. Man. Kid Icarus Uprising was such a good game, though. We were talking about this in the last playthrough, but that game is like amazing, and I really want.
It really is.
I really want a sequel or a remake for it, like hella bad.
Like, I'll even take a port.
Yeah.
Like, give me something.
Yeah.
And we also got $15 from Chaos Chow.
Oh, thank you.
Gonna toss some more again. Put this towards the amiibo raffle. I have a question for Ted and a question for Sabrina. For Ted, favorite weapon class in Kid Icarus Uprising?
The staff, I think it was the one that let you shoot really long range. I liked that one a lot.
Yeah, like I liked arrows a lot in that one.
Okay.
In Uprising. For Sabrina, since we aren't covering the main Xenoblade Chronicles 2, that would be a marathon in itself. Yes, it would. Your favorite non-story blade? I stink with names. Flora is up there, and the bird boy. I need to search him up. Xenoblade 2 bird.
What's the name of the one that's like all boobies?
I've actually unlocked unlocked that one, but
Also, isn't the main character from Xeno Saga also unlockable in the as a character in Xenoblade Chronicles 2?
yes.
Is she good?
I never used her because I
Okay.
never got her. Finch. Finch is the bird. Sorry.
So yeah, because I know that Xenoblade 2 has kind of a weird unlock system for a lot of the characters, where it's like almost a gacha game. In some,
Yeah.
the hell was that Reaper doing? It was like freaking out.
I think I missed it. But yeah, like, I think Cosmos is, I think you have to, like, do a certain quest to get them. But, most blades are like, yeah, like, hope and pray you get a rare blade. And even, like, the rare core crystals, which is the things that unlock the blades, even they don't really guarantee a rare blade. Like, just a higher percentage.
And you can't, the game's designed so that you can't save scum it, if I remember correctly.
Oh yeah, okay, sorry. Cosmos is just incredibly rare. I must be thinking of another blade. But yeah, like, I think it saves, like, I think right when you unlock it or something.
Okay. There we go. I hope I get the credit card in this playthrough, because the credit card is easily the best item you can find. Because it lets you buy whatever you want without having to have the money up front. You can just earn the money later, which is incredibly helpful.
The moment you do the roll, the game autosaves, yeah.
Okay, I'm back. My food is done. I saw a question about when I'm going to update the bid wars. I updated everything except for Chaos Chow's most recent donation. Except for the amiibo raffle. Did you put that in, Sabrina?
I don't have any access towards
Gotcha.
that.
Gotcha. I will plop that in then. Give me 1 sec. But the rest of them should be updated unless I missed one, which is possible. Hopefully I didn't.
I think Chaos Chow is the first donation we've had since SpongeBob. So
That's what it looks like. And I updated all the SpongeBob, or all the SpongeBob, all the Splatoon ones at the end of the last stream. So I never really played Kid Icarus past World 3, I think.
well, World 3 is the last world because
Oh, never mind. Then not World 3 at all. It might have been this world. Is this World 2?
this is the second stage.
No, I'm talking stages. I'm sorry. I didn't get past stage 3.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, because stage 4 of each world is like a Zelda dungeon, sort of. Damn
Which
it.
is neat. It always seemed like a neat franchise. It just didn't vibe with it that much. So I just kind of played a little bit and then never played it again.
I found save states make this game much more tolerable. Because every time you feel like you're getting dicked over by something that you shouldn't have, you can just rewind, and then you're better. Okay. Alright, so yeah, so the other best thing to get is the barrel, because the barrel lets you hold as many health potions as you want, or as you can find, more accurately, which is good because they automatically heal you when you die, which obviously makes your life a lot easier, although I try not to rely on them too much because they are pretty rare. The health potions themselves are pretty rare to begin with. This game I think would really benefit if they like had made it in with a modern design philosophy, and The controls are a little stiff, so that would help as well, but it's still a fairly fun game. You have save states in the modern world, so just use them and don't feel bad about it.
I see somebody asking, do they need to play Xenoblade to play 2? No. They
No.
sort of it's a bit more related than Final Fantasy, but for all intents and purposes, you really don't need to play one to know the other at all.
Yeah,
Consider
like
it Final Fantasy, where they're just different worlds.
I know that there's like one small connection, but
Yeah,
that's really it.
Get out of... I hate these guys so much.
Somebody said, "What about Xenogears?" No, it's same thing. Xenogears is a whole different beast.
Xenogears also doesn't really make much sense, even when you're examining it on its own terms, so...
Yeah, it was never completely finished, so that helped. It's fascinating because that game was originally pitched as the plot for Final Fantasy VII, and Square was like, "Whoa, hold on, this is too deep for Final Fantasy. Make your own shit. We like it. You have our money, but this is not Final Fantasy VII. We need some easier shit for that." Oh, SpongeBob put his donation towards Pac-Man World 2. I did not see that. Thank you for
Holy
letting me
shit, that's gonna put
know.
Pac-Man
Oh, Pac-Man World 2 wins.
Wait, SpongeBob put that for Pac. Okay.
Somebody donated under SpongeBob's name.
No, the actual
Yeah.
SpongeBob donated. For
I didn't know
Pac-Man
that it
World
went towards. I didn't know it went to Pac-Man World 2.
Apparently
That's
in the
news to me
interim-
too.
Yeah, I didn't. I posted near the end of the stream to see if they could tag me, and then I went over to get food. So I'm gonna try and scroll up because that was who said that? Carl Clow. So I'm going to guess they either are SpongeBob or their friend is SpongeBob.
Okay.
But I'm gonna go on the honor system because I don't think anyone would be a dick. Either way, Pac-Man World 2 was already in the lead, so...
I mean, like, it just automatically won.
It has almost as much as Prime 2.
Yeah.
Damn. It's the hottest bid war this side of Metroid Prime.
Do you like one or two more for the Pac-Man worlds, Sabrina?
Well, I've been trying so hard to be like, I'm not gonna say what games I prefer.
Oh,
because
yeah.
no one knows. But since Pac-Man World 2 is pretty much going to win, I actually like Pac-Man World 1 the most.
Well then, but here's the thing, we only like to torture Johnny. Torturing Sabrina isn't fun the charity room tradition. So we should all try to...
I never know.
We should put that money toward... We should try to raise some money towards helping... we should put some money towards, like, saving Sabrina. I don't know what, like, we would... How we can make it hashtagable. But we should do that.
Carol said no.
Carol, why you do this?
It's because I'm a day older than her.
You're
So
only
short,
one day
okay.
older than her?
Yeah, I'm literally I'm born just the day before her.
Yeah, but that's weird, Sabrina, because you're in your 20s, but Caro's 12.
Somebody call Squidward and have him donate to Pac-Man World 1.
I feel like Squidward wouldn't ever donate to charity, though.
Yeah, probably not. Mr. Krabs definitely wouldn't. I think Squidward would be more likely to, if it was Krabs' money.
Yeah. Maybe Krabs would do it as a tax write-off.
One Up Commentary says, remember when Ted was called the kid? You're old, Ted.
Is this Nintendo?
Oh, is that the enlister of games?
I wish. How's everything going?
We're doing okay. We're making decent progress in Kid Icarus right now. Okay, we already have... Hold on, am I just buying... Yeah, I'm just buying health because I don't have the barrel yet. Okay.
I literally just got back here from work.
How was work?
It's actually pretty bad today.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, that sucks.
The storm. Like, if there's one thing worse than a storm bringing down the mood, it's a storm going off and on all day and never knowing when it's gonna stop, and having that false sense of security of, oh hey, the sun's out, everything's dry, everything's fine. Then nope, there's the rain again.
Yeah. Yeah, that's. I feel you on that.
Yeah,
I don't know if you work like in and outside sometimes, but
No, I am outside. I'm outside all the time. I work like at parks, cleaning and cutting the grass.
oh, I feel for you.
So do you just have to keep on doing what you're doing in the rain?
Well, we try to stay inside the car like for as long as possible, but then it gets to the point of like, okay, we have to do some stuff, and we usually wait until it's not pouring. It's like just kind of spitting, or it's like there's still somewhat wet. But it's like even when it's like just even slightly spitting, it's annoying just kind of walking around, even trying to cut.
Yeah, no, I getcha.
Yeah, because especially if you're cutting like brush or grass or anything like that, it's all gonna wilt over. Not wilt, but lean over once it gets wet. And then it's hard
Even
to
that's
cut
more
properly.
just kind of getting wet and just being like, ugh. Then I'm gonna have to go inside, like sit in like the dry car and make that wet, and it's like, it's just a lot more stress. It's not really hard work. It's just kind of stressful.
Yeah, no, I totally get that.
And I saw SpongeBob donated 1,200.
1205.
Mhm.
1205 for Pac-Man World.
Damn, and you guys updated all that?
World 2, yeah, everything's updated.
Awesome. All right, let me go and post that on. Like, I gotta post that online. So we unlocked arms.
Yay!
Yeah,
I get to
we're at $11,645.
Oh, 11,600. Damn.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely mind blowing. Like, you guys are amazing.
For sure. Like, I did not think we were going to get to our total anywhere close to this fast, so
Yeah.
your generosity is impressive. There we go.
Yes.
Yeah, it's awesome. There's no other word for it than awesome. Because I could say outstanding or astounding, but then I would steal Ted's thunder. So I
You
won't
could
say
say
either.
supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
An image that I don't get to use as much on the internet as I think I should be able to is just it's a graphic from SH2's file, like just internal memory of all of the different things you get when you get a certain amount of points. So it's like cool, great, awesome, outstanding, perfect, and it's just I feel like that's a more meme-worthy picture than it actually is. But I would post that right now if I was not playing Kid Icarus.
Good, great, awesome, outstanding, amazing.
I quote that more than I played that game.
I haven't played Sonic Colors probably since like 2012. I don't go back to it too often.
Yeah, I only went through it like the one time. It's fun. It's good. It's a good 2D Sonic.
I don't really play Sonic games.
You don't play Sonic games.
No, I don't blame
No.
you. But
I don't play.
Smart.
I've played them for charity before, but that's it. I've never really played it for like fun. I don't know. I don't know. What
Nobody
else to
plays
say.
Sonic for fun, Sabrina. That's the secret.
Sabrina doesn't play Sonic games because she's sane.
On Twitter, Dominic Garmin, who's been doing like a lot of memes for pretty much all of the streams, he did one where it's Ted when he dies in Kid Icarus, and it's the pirate from the Aardman Pirates movie going, well, yes, but actually no.
I told y'all I was gonna be shameless.
I don't even blame you, honestly.
And this is
fun. Bob watching the stream, and it's the guy, the stock photo of the guy looking at looking at the laptop with holding the mug, and then he just smiles at the camera. Only it's SpongeBob's face over him.
Okay, oh well. My biggest problem with this game, like, and part of why it feels more difficult than it actually is that just stuff falls on you from out of nowhere, and there's nowhere to dodge any of this shit, because it's all vertical platforming.
Now, a question I forget. You don't have a double jump.
No, you don't.
No. You would think his wings would do something. But
No, well, I guess that's the Icarus myth is
Yeah.
that he can't fly. But you do not get a double jump or anything like that. I think you do get to fly on the last level. I do know that.
You know what I just thought that'd be really fun and stupid? You know how there was that Mario 1, like, in VR, sort of like similar first-person Super Paper Mario kind of...
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, yeah.
Do that, but with this game, so it's just an infinite loop of the level terrain, just going forward forever. It's just the Mario 64 stairs.
There we go, okay. Healing? No, not healing. Can I endure this harsh training? Maybe. Probably not.
With safe kits, you can do anything. We have $25 from Glass Marcus. Not really in a sadistic mood right now, so put this towards Sonic Advance 2 in hopes that we can save Johnny from the evils of Advance 3. You got it. Thank you very much.
Stefan would disagree with your assessment of this situation.
You see what's so funny about, like, because there's always the whole thing about, oh, we want to give the donation to the game that to make the person suffer, and like for most series it's like, oh yeah, everybody says Prime 2 is the worst Prime game, everyone says, oh, Arkham City is the worst Arkham game, everyone says Lost Levels is the worst Mario game, but then it comes to Advance and it's like, some people say Advance 2 is the worst, some people say Advance 3 is the worst, so it's like, you can't really... So like, you're like, oh, I donate to Advance 2 to make him suffer, but people are like, but I like Advance 2. I donate to make it Advance 3 to make him suffer, but I like Advance 3, so... You can't... And then Advance 1's like, everybody likes me, but they're like, yeah, but that's why we don't pick you, because everybody likes you equally.
I'm gonna jump in and echo chat really quick. You said Arkham City's the worst? Is
He
that-
probably meant Arkham.
I meant Night. I was talking about Night.
Okay,
Sorry.
I'm not a huge Arkham guy. I don't love the Arkham series. So I was like, wait, hold on, that's the one people like.
No, I messed up my words. Yeah, because last year was like, it was between Night and City, and Night was the one that people wanted Night to make him suffer, but then City ran in. But yeah, I was talking about Night. Yeah, not City. I'm like probably still asleep now.
Delta Foxtrot said, "You're on thin ice, kid."
Fucking hates Arkham City. He likes Sonic Advance 3. He's dead to me.
Because if you would say like Origins, I would have believed that in a heartbeat. Because no one really talks about Origins.
Hold on a moment.
Origins is fine. It's like fine. Like it's a good game, just nothing special.
Yeah, it exists.
Stefan is over party.
Hold on, just one moment. I'm opening up the maps so that I have maps. So I'm gonna be just a second of pause screen here. Holy crap! The third dungeon's huge. Oh man. Okay.
You look at a map for Legend of Zelda and everybody gets mad at you, but you look at a map for Kid Icarus and nobody cares.
That's because there's no Kid Icarus fans of me. Not that aren't Uprising fans.
Kid Icarus fan. There's only Uprising fans. It's basically a different game.
If you're like, I like Kid Icarus, then you're Gunpei Yokoi. That's it. That's the only one.
It's a better game than the original Metroid. Not that that's saying much, because the original Metroid is not a very good game, all things considered.
How much later was Kid Icarus than Metroid? Was it a year?
I think they released the same time. Like, they were
Really?
developed at the same time.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, there's a
always thought
lot
Kid
of
Icarus was a little
shared
later.
elements, and like they're on the same engine. There's a lot of I think they share most of the same development staff. They're very, very similar games.
Because I know Yokoi's behind both, or was the director of both in some way.
Yeah.
So, question for Ted, says Chaos Chow. Dealing with this game or dealing with what's Orns? Is that what that is?
Orns? Orness?
I can't read. Hold on. Sorry.
Was that a donation comment or chat?
That's a chat.
I don't know who
It was Hero
NES?
Cancer.
I don't know what that,
I don't know what that is. Sorry.
or is it ohms? I don't think it's ohms. I think it's an RN.
Or is it an acronym?
Yeah, I can't tell. So just let us know.
Okay, how do we get to the recovery room even? Oh yeah, okay, I see how we're supposed to do it. Okay. Alright. One thing that I also
were the sorry. Orange were the one-hit kill enemies in Uprising.
So I haven't played Uprising in a long time, unfortunately. I've just been really it's I just have not had the time to do it. Also, I lost my stand, so I don't want to have to play it without the stand. So
I've had arthritis ever since.
Yeah. So I don't really remember how annoying those specific enemies were off the top of my head. Pretty sure they were pretty annoying though. Kid Icarus Uprising was a really fun game though. Like I think it's impressive how well it holds up even in the on foot stages though, because a lot of people talk more about like the Star Fox kind of styled stages a lot of the time and less about the other styles of stages. I think I went the wrong way. But how else am I supposed to get to where I need to go? I have to go all the way. Oh, I went the wrong way. Damn it. Okay, hold on.
Someone was asking if you should be freeing the statues. I don't know if that's relevant.
So if you free the statues, you get the you get helpers for the boss fight, but that's not like super necessary in this level because the boss is easy.
Gotcha.
So it's actually better to save the arrows that you get, not the arrows, the hammers that you get for the later dungeons because those bosses are much harder.
Another question for you from chat. Has there been a game that you really wanted to record for Brain Scratch, but the other guys turned it down?
The Trauma Center games. I'm having trouble thinking of a game that they've straight up turned down.
Prime 2. Because I remember when you guys finished Prime 1, and I was like, oh, I'm excited to see Prime 2 soon.
No, that's John's
like, 7 No, I know. Because I thought there was a bet that you and him were going to, like one of you was going to record Prime 2 if one of you won the bet or something.
I don't really remember. Maybe.
I don't know why this is one of the flashbulbs I remember from my early days of watching Brain Scratch, but clearly I'm right, so I don't know.
Okay. Seems legit. But yeah, no, I think it's just if we were to ever do any Metroid, John would judge me for every mistake I possibly made. So, yeah.
I feel like comments would judge you more than John.
Yeah, but I don't have to hear comments.
Yeah, that's true. They're not real time. Yeah, you're not. That's fair.
Oh, could I grind here theoretically? Yeah, I could theoretically grind in the dungeon, but no.
Oh, apparently Ryan was originally going to do Prime 2, maybe? That might be what
Yeah, if John, wouldn't do it, I think Ryan would do it, but...
Gotcha. I remember there being a bet of some sort.
Ryan, I don't think, cares enough about the game to do it, so...
Fair.
And also, John would know the game, probably knows the game better than Ryan, so he would probably end up having an easier time doing it anyway.
I have another Brain Scratch related question.
Yes.
Actually, I have two. First, will you guys record Last of Us Part 2 one day?
Never say never, but I know there's a lot of controversy around that game right now, so it's not in the. I'm sure one day probably, but probably no time soon. I guess is the best way to put it.
And
come on.
Someone else asked why you guys stopped Persona 5. Was there a reason for that?
Lewis didn't finish it.
Fair. Okay. Fair point.
There's no other reason other than Lewis didn't finish it.
I figured like a file corruption thing of some sort.
No, I think it is literally just Lewis didn't finish it. And now there's now there's
Royal, so
yeah, and so we'd have to start over. Basically.
And then there was a question for me. What did I think about the Ratchet comics? I really liked them. Ratchet had a 6-run comic short
He
published
did?
by, I think, DC. Very short run. It was written to fill in the gap when after 2009, during the development of Crack in Time, Insomniac split into 2 studios. They moved half their staff to North Carolina. And so that's kind of been the Ratchet studio for the most part since then. So since they were moving, they took a year off and decided to start working on All for One later. But in the meantime, they did a comic. And it was a really fun comic that kind of brought back characters from the PS2 games that you really hadn't seen. And they kind of fleshed out Ratchet's relationship with his romance character that's been there kind of for the entire PS3 games, but only was there for one of the games. It's weird. The PS3 games are weird, but I like the comics a lot. They were written by the guy who did the writing for all the PS3 games, and they made Quirk president, which you know,
I have one of the issues. Yeah, I have one of the issues. I wanted to check out the rest of the series.
It's really good. Like they chose a good balance of like humor, and then they really take themselves seriously midway through, and kind of like go and cover like Ratchet being alone in the universe and being sad that he's the last Lombax, but kind of coming close to accepting that he doesn't need the other Lombaxes because his family's here.
Aw.
It's really well done. And then Quirk becomes president, and it's weird.
That man.
Yep, not touching it.
No.
Nope.
Yep. Let's move on.
I gotta go because I have to cook before I do however many
Torna,
hours.
yeah,
for
we'll
this
see you in a
evening.
bit for Torna, I'm sure. All right, but thank you so much for keeping me company during the beginning of the stream, Sabrina. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Now I get to make tacos.
Ooh, I like tacos.
Then come
You
over
can
here.
just jump over.
And I'll
whatever.
socially distance you some tacos.
Sweet. Awesome. How good are the PS3 Ratchets?
In a nutshell, very. That's the short answer. Well, very, but there's a lot of them. Is the thing. So
Okay.
their quality flips because
The main ones probably he's probably referring to like the future
Yes.
game. Yeah.
and even the future games. So what they did was their goal was when they made Future Tools of Destruction, the first PS3 game. It was really good, really fun. They ended on a cliffhanger, which pissed everybody off. Or rather, they ended on a tease rather than a cliffhanger. And then they made a game in 2008, which was one of the first download games ever for consoles. And they made that, and the goal was to make that game and use the work that they made in that game to then make it easier to develop Crack in Time, the third in that trilogy. That didn't work, so they made Crack in Time in the span of 9 months.
Because Quest for Booty basically feels like because it's only 2 hours. It feels like a 2-hour expansion pack for Tools of Destruction because it's basically just running on that original engine. It's a very short game, just kind of being like, oh, here's something that happens like at the end. This is what happens in between the first and third games.
Yeah, and it kind of sets up the villain of Crack in Time, and kind of answers the question of kind of what happened to Clank, because Clank goes missing at the end of Tools of Destruction.
Well, more so you get kidnapped. However
you want to play. I was trying to be a little bit vague, but I know it's a 12-year-old game, but just in case.
Yeah, I was about to say it's super old, and I don't know if Ted really he worries about like those massive spoilers.
Yeah, mainly for chat, just in case. So spoilers. But yeah, it's after Crack in Time, and even I would argue this is a conversation we can have, Stefan, because I know you've played the Ratchet games. I don't love Crack in Time. And that's a thing that gets you yelled at because Crack in Time is considered the best. I think that Crack in Time is very good the first playthrough, but I play Ratchet and Clank. Generally, I play it for both the first playthrough and for the replayability of it. And when you replay that game, you realize how the pacing suffers with the Tale of Two Cities story they go for, because they have Clank on one side doing his stuff, and then they have Ratchet doing his stuff on the other side. And so it's like you do 2 planets as Ratchet, and just as you're getting into the Ratchet gameplay, you do Clank puzzles, which are the best Clank puzzles they've ever had.
Yeah.
But they still eat at the pace once you've done them, because even though you can skip them, once you've beaten them, you still have to walk very slowly through the level and kind of just do a walking section to then go back to Ratchet. And none of the planets of the 10 planets in Crack in Time really ever stuck out to me because they're all very open sort of like Ratchet and Clank Up Your Arsenal's open levels. And that kind of takes away a lot of the platforming side of it and just makes it a third-person shooter, which works, but I don't know. There's a lot of issues I have with that, and then also it just kind of feels like that game relies too much on Up Your Arsenal, with playing to Nefarious and not really explaining why Nefarious is evil, and just making him, I'm gonna make it so that all the bad guys ever have won, which would mean that Nefarious wouldn't exist, because then there wouldn't have been Quark to fight Nefarious in the first place. It's weird. And
yeah, well, I think at least with that, it's more so just because Nefarious is kind of like, I mean, he's supposed to be insane. Like he isn't supposed to make sense. So that's what it would have been. It would have been cool to see more of like give Nefarious more of an actual motivation rather than just he's basically the Joker of Ratchet and Clank. Like he doesn't. I feel like he doesn't need to have like a fully defined backstory or a interesting or like even smart motivation. It's just he's gonna go fucking nuts and try and do something, and people have to stop him.
Yeah, and that's fine to some extent. It bugged me that the whole focus of Nefarious in that game isn't just I'm gonna make it so the bad guys win. It's also he's literally just there. Like he doesn't do anything. He just sits there with the Valkyries and is just kind of resting on his laurels until Ratchet goes back in time to attack him in the past. It's just I don't know. And
even technically, because even in that case, like, and it's also a case of like, because he wants to use the travel back in time, but then as it turns out is that you can't really use the clock to do it that way. So even if he did try to do it, it would have failed anyway. So
yeah, and
that's kind of that instance. But that isn't really like what the point is. Just that Nefarious is fucking shit up. He's really funny at it, so you enjoy it through that, and then you the characters basically learn that this is how it works, and then they end up learning after it wouldn't have worked anyway.
Yeah, and I do like it for that. Like he's fine as like a secondary antagonist, but they play him as the primary antagonist for all until the final boss fight.
Yeah, but then there's like the twist. I won't say, but then there's the twist that happens at the very end, which I think that's
really good. That's really good. Like that was the part where like I even had All for One in my hands because I got a PS3 late, so I owned All for One by the time I played Crack in Time, and I still I got choked up at the ending because that could have been the ending of Ratchet and Clank.
I played it before All. Yeah, I played it before All for One came out, so I was like, is there any more? Is there gonna be any more Ratchet? Yeah, because it was like it felt like you could end Ratchet there and it'd be.
The sales were waning, so they were even saying like we don't know what we're gonna do after this. But then Resistance 3 did worse than Crack in Time. They just kept going.
Was All for One the co-op game?
Yes, that's the one that everyone hated because it had a different art style.
Is it a good co-op Ratchet and Clank game?
It's fine. It's not. It's long is the problem for a co-op game. Like, it's like 12 hours.
There we go. Okay, yeah, that makes sense because I know that a lot of the time, games like that, if being too long, can be a detriment. For a lot of games like that.
Yeah, and it has competent like single player, like you can play it by yourself, but it's meant to be played with 4 players, and it works pretty well with 4 players. But
it is the new Super Mario Brothers to Mars. It's like it is a good, decent multiplayer game. It's just nothing special compared to the full mainline games.
Yeah, and that's actually the point. Like All for One is really where I started saying, at least to myself, that Ratchet is the Mario of PlayStation at this point. Because they're willing to experiment with him and do some out there things that wouldn't necessarily be Ratchet because they know that Ratchet appeals to a wider family friendly audience that isn't just the hardcore Ratchet fans that complain about every game.
Yeah. But this is separate from Ratchet and Clank future games, right?
So Future was just the name that they gave to let you know that it was a saga, but it was a sequel to the Future saga. So every Ratchet game has a chronological place except for the 2 PSP games. Because technically those are both non-canon. They go back and forth with size matters, but Insomniac has essentially said anything that's not theirs is not canon, which is fair. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty fair.
And technically those are the only 2 games that they haven't worked on.
Yeah, and those are still worked on. Hey Ryan. And those were still worked on by Ratchet developers. Like those were worked on by High Impact. High Impact? Yeah.
What else did they make? That sounds familiar.
They made the Daxter. No, not Daxter. They made Lost Frontier, the Last Jack game.
Okay.
I think, and I believe it was. I think you're thinking of people who worked up, people who were on last and were at High Impact, then went up to go to Big Red Button and like
Yes,
they
that's what it was.
and that stuff.
Oh.
Not. I mean, that's just like this. That's 10 years later. So
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And then, then right after that, they made Full Frontal Assault, which is a tower defense game.
Yeah, and that was the one that I had said in another one of these streams. I said that one was made solely as an anniversary game. Like, that was literally, it's the 10th anniversary. Ratchet fans have been asking for Ratchet multiplayer to come back for 10 years, well, for 5 years at that point. And so they were like, hey, for the anniversary, we're just going to make a small $20 game. It's just like a MOBA. It's just a MOBA. You know, hopefully you'll enjoy it. We wanted to try and kind of call back to Ratchet 3's multiplayer, but do something more modern. Hopefully you'll enjoy it. Also, the HD collection's coming out. And everyone got pissed off that it was only 5 hours long because it's a tower defense game that has Ratchet gameplay. And people were upset that it wasn't a full Ratchet game. And they said outright, it's just $20, guys. And you get Deadlocked HD for free. So you get two $10 games for $20.
Is Deadlocked good?
Deadlocked. Some people go back and forth. That's the one where it's all like arena style missions. So it's all shooter rather than all having a lot of. It has some platforming sections, but not really as many. I love Deadlocked. It's not my favorite game in the series, but for what it is, it lasts just as long as it needs to, and it's so fun. And it's got co-op too.
Okay.
Player co-op.
I wasn't angry about Full Frontal Assault, but I was kind of disappointed because I did enjoy All for One when I played that. Then I picked up Full Frontal Assault because I wasn't expecting what it was going to be, but I saw it was like $20 or whatever, so I was like, oh, this is going to be like a shorter-ish game. So when I put it in, then I'm like, oh, this is a tower defense game with Ratchet gameplay, and I was like, let me try and give it a shot. But then, like, I think after a few hours or so, I was like, this isn't really for me. So
it didn't help. It didn't help that the third mission was like really fucking hard.
Yeah, that's probably what got me stuck on it.
They patched that eventually to make it easier, but it was a fun concept, and it was meant to be a side game, and people took it as if Ratchet's ruined forever because they used the bad art style I don't like. And then they came back with Into the Nexus, which is the same art style but with a slightly better Ratchet model that's not super like thin, and people were like, "All right, cool."
It's almost like those sorts of complaints are always really petty, no matter what series or fan base.
Yeah, this is kind of the point where Ratchet fans turned into like that bitter fan base to me, because it was just they wanted more crack in time, and it's like it's impossible to give more crack in time because that game is by itself. Like, you can give another serious game, but also that game didn't perform super well, so they don't have budget now because not many people bought Crack in Time because Sony exclusives actually didn't sell during the PS3 era unless you were Uncharted.
Yeah, because the PS3 era was rough, I think.
Yeah.
Which is strange because you think that the PS3 exclusives would do better just because, you know, because if you were gonna buy a game.
Well, they were used to PS2 money at that point.
That's true. Yes, everything's gonna be worse when that's a similar thing compared to like the Wii U, where yes, everything's gonna look bad compared to the Wii. But sales-wise,
the Wii U was still a disaster, though. So
yeah, and the PS3 is nowhere near the kind of thing that the Wii U was. But at the same time, a lot of people were like, at the time, it's funny because it's basically backwards to how it is now. But at the time, a lot of people were like, "Why would I buy the PS3 version? I can get the Xbox 360 version." So you think that the exclusives would do better because everybody with the PS3 would get them, versus the third-party games where
you also have to remember that you only bought one or the other. You never bought both.
Yeah, that's true.
One of the big issues. Oh, go ahead, Ryan.
So I was going to say, so as a result, whichever one you bought is what you bought the third parties on. It didn't matter too much in that regard.
Yeah, I was going to say one of the other things is that there was a huge cross-section of audience that went from PS2 to Xbox 360, which is a good reason why you saw the exclusives dip in sales outside of the big games that eventually helped the PS3 kind of turn it around by the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was me. I was a PS1 to PS2 guy, and then I went for 360, which was both because the PS3 was stupid expensive at the time, and there was a lot of 360 games that I wanted, so that's what I went for.
Imagine a universe where the PS3 launched at, let's say, $400, which would still be extremely expensive for the time.
Yeah, I mean, if
Well,
they didn't
they-
get cocky, like
It was a combination of two things. One, they were indeed cocky, and two, Sony was more interested in winning the format war than Microsoft was.
which to be fair, they did. So now,
Yeah,
now
so-
Sony makes money on every Xbox One disc sold.
Yep.
And I mean, like $400 for
That's one of the main reasons why my Xbox has been so insistent on making digital consoles.
Just because, and yeah, that and the extra profit that you get of not having to deal with the overhead of discs.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, like $400 for a PS1, PS2, PS3, and Blu-ray player. Like back then, that would have been really, really good. That would have been a really
Even
good.
$600, it was the cheapest Blu-ray player.
I was gonna say, at $600, that wasn't a bad deal for getting a PS1, PS2, and PS3 plus a Bluray player back in 2006.
Yes,
Yeah.
but it's still like,
It's still a hefty price to ask for anything. Is more the problem.
yeah, when a lot of people would have only wanted the PS3 player and not all that other stuff, and they didn't want to pay the extra $300 or however much the equivalent was, or whatever, what have you.
It wasn't like DVD where it was such a huge leap forward right away. It took a little while.
Why it helped, which is why it helped in 2009 when they made the Slim, which was like half the price, and
Yeah.
that was also when that was when Uncharted 2. That was when Kraken Time came out, and like so many other
Killzone
great
2.
Well,
Infamous. Yeah,
That was also
Yeah.
when Blu-ray started to become more viable as a media source, and Xbox/Microsoft had made you pay for an extra add-on for HD DVD, which no one supported.
HD DVD.
Yeah, it's I think the other thing is that 2007 when the PS3 came out,
Six.
not everybody
late six,
6. It was 6,
Late-
really?
Yeah.
Very late 6.
Oh yeah, you're right. It was 6. Not every. We were still before the point where everybody had an HD TV, so you didn't even really see the quality upgrade right away, in that sense. But so it's just like, okay, these games play in high definition, but I don't want to have to buy a $2,000 or more HD TV. $2,000 actually would have been a really cheap HD TV at
Yeah,
the time.
plasmas were insane back then. That's back when they were plasma, not even like
Yeah,
like
Just
LCD.
flat
regular
screen.
HD. Like not yeah. I saw somebody ask a moment ago something else related to Ratchet that they asked me.
I do need to play the Ratchet games. That's definitely on my to-do list. I feel like it fills a gameplay niche that I'm not getting many other places, and I'm just extremely interested in them. I just want a good place to play the original
of them,
3
yeah.
games, and unfortunately my PS3 is broken. So that's
gotcha.
not an option right now. And I know that there's the remake, but I also know the remake is not spectacular.
I think it knowing you, it does you the best justice to play through the first one first and then go
Yes.
to the remake down the road because you're
Yes.
gonna end up probably playing both.
Yes.
They're different enough that you can play them, like you play both of them, you get different experiences out of both.
Yeah. If you look at the PS4 game as the early 15th anniversary gift that they left for us, then it's fine. If you look at it as a way to replace the first game, which was part of its chief mission, it did not succeed at that. But that doesn't make it bad. It's still very fine on its own right.
Yeah, I would want to start with I would want to put my best foot forward with the series, you know.
Just know that Ratchet's a total dick in the first game. Like, he's an irredeemable asshole until the final moments of the game.
Yeah, that's something I saw as well, where he's just a massive asshole to Clank, like, the entire time.
Like, Clank makes an innocent mistake, and Ratchet's just like, you're a fucking dick, I hope you die, I'm gonna sell you for scrap, fuck you, like, 10 hours later, and you're like, dude, Jesus Christ, why? Stop!
God.
Now we're best friends.
Yeah,
He's
and now they're friends.
He's kind of like he's like the opposite of Jack, where Jack is basically just Jack in the first game is like the silent, just kind of the silent protagonist who doesn't really like think or do much, and then the second game is I'm gonna kill Praxis.
That, oh, God.
To be fair, Praxis deserves it.
Well, yeah,
Praxis deserve to die.
tortured him for 2 years.
I mean, yes, but still, like, the Jack and Daxter, I don't think I'm ever gonna get into that. That just does not seem to be my thing at all.
I have a lot. Jack's so weird because you see what they were trying to do, and it's just you see that they didn't do it well. Like, I know people like Jack too, but the story is dog shit. Like, gameplay notwithstanding, that story is, I swear to God, just plot contrivances and characters arguing about things that they agree on in the next, like, not even the next scene, the next frame. They're just like, Jack, you gotta work your way up to help us save the city. Jack, you're the best thing that's ever happened to this city. It's like, dude, stop. Please stop. Just be normal.
I don't. So the gameplay. Oh, these assholes. These assholes can steal your power-ups.
Oh
So-
God.
Yeah. But what was I gonna? Yeah. So I don't know about the gameplay. Seems fine to me. It doesn't seem like something that like. It doesn't seem like particularly.
Well, Jack 2 is weird. Sorry, not to cut you off.
Yeah.
Jack 2 is weird because they give you 8 health, and every enemy besides one of the first enemies you only see in a starting area does 2 damage. So you only have 4 health, and you have no iframes. So.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, I think you have like 5 iframes. Like it's nothing.
Oof.
So you can get hit twice from the same attack.
Wait,
And
the
that's your
same
health.
attack?
Like if there's a long attack, you can get hit, or if like not even the same attack. If like there's an enemy running into you, they will damage you. And if you run into them and you can't get away in time within that like literally less than a second, like less than half a second you will take damage twice, and that's half your health.
Fuck. Wow.
They made 3 way too easy as a counter to that, but I would rather have it be that than hard. 'Cause
Yeah, it's interesting. We were talking about this. Were we talking about this in in a brain scratch game we were doing about the merits of making a game too easy versus too hard?
I'm sure we have at some point.
I forget what game it was though. That we were talking about that. But yeah, I mean, I'm a Kirby fan, so I generally would rather the game be too easy more often than not. That's just me.
I think you would enjoy Jack 1, since Jack 1 is just kind of a pure open world platformer, while Jack 2 and 3 are much more complicated in its game mechanics.
So I haven't played Jack 1, but I watched. We did it on Brain Scratch a while ago.
Get him earlier.
I hate Daxter. I cannot stand him.
Well, not like this series.
That's
yeah,
fair.
you're kind of just gonna have to put up with Daxter for
My
every
favorite,
game.
my favorite is that canonically Daxter is such a huge asshole in 2. So the whole thing is that 2, Jack gets captured as soon as you go to the other world. I'm not going to say what the other world is, even though it's 20.
Yeah, I know it's. I know it's like a different dimension than the one he's in the first.
It's complicated.
Yeah, it's a long story. But so Daxter says, Jack, I'm going to search for you, even if it takes me years. And then
Literally
Daxter,
2 years later.
2 years pass. Daxter happens to stumble into Jack on accident. But in the game Daxter, he immediately forgets about Jack for 2 years. His
Wait.
best friend. I swear to God,
He just
forgets
forgets.
about Jack. Because then he's like, I was supposed to be doing something. And then Jack gets dragged by in like a fucking prison cart. And then he's like, Jack, fuck! I forgot!
Wait, really?
I was playing it for one of the videos I was working on a few months back, and I was baffled. Just absolutely fucking baffled that it's an hour and a half into that game. Daxter just like you're just doing like pest control that entire game. It's so bad. It's so dumb.
Wow.
Oh
Yeah, there's reason no one cares about the PSP spin-offs of major Sony franchises, except for maybe God of War.
yeah, and Daxter's one of the highest rated PSP games, I think. But that's the weird part. Like everyone's just like, yeah, we don't care about the fucking story, just fucking boring. But
I do like the twist in Jack 3, like the final twist of like.
oh yeah.
I think that's really funny and really well.
Yeah. Somebody had asked you a question, Ted, and then somebody asked me another one.
I think about what remaster.
Yes.
What years would you want to be remastered on a PS5?
Yes. While you think on this one, it was which Sony series do you want to see get revived that hasn't gotten a new treatment in a while? While you're thinking of that, we have donations.
Awesome. Okay,
Um,
why don't we go with that then? The donations.
So we have Ryan Demusis Levely. Hopefully I got that close. I'm sure I'll be back for more. He donated $5. I'm sure I'll be back for more, but I'd like to start off by throwing some money at the Xenoblade raffle. If it can go towards a Bid War 2, it cannot, but thank you for trying. Haven't been able to watch much this time, but thanks for doing all this, guys. Thank you very much for your donation. We'll put that towards the Xenoblade raffle. We have $25 from Lloyd Ink Moon. Hey guys, happy to finally donate to this. Been working through all of this year, and now just got a break. But enough of my whining. I have 2 questions. Firstly, who do you think is next up for Smash? Secondly, what are your thoughts on Dragon Quest XI S Echoes of an Elusive Age Definitive Edition? It's a long ass name. Keep up the good work. P.S. Ted, you're my favorite. Don't tell Johnny.
Aw, thank you.
Well, if Ted were to talk about Dragon Quest XI, we would be here literally until the next week.
I've been talking
There's-
about Raptor for an hour. It's fine.
Okay, here's the thing. Literally, no joke. Me and Catherine, who's been on the stream a couple of times. I don't know if you've been in call with Catherine yet, though. When Dragon Quest XI came out for the PS4, the first version, we did a discussion afterwards. It's 3 parts long, and it totals 9 hours. We spend 9 hours talking about that game. I'm not even joking.
Yep.
We like it. It's very, very good. You should play it if you like RPGs.
Let's leave it at that. At
Yeah.
risk of rambling forever. No offense, Ted.
Yeah, no, it's fine. We're doing a Dragon Quest game in this marathon. We'll get to talk about Dragon
I was gonna
Quest.
say you can talk about it then.
As for a Sony franchise to get revived, I don't know if Rayman counts, but
Rayman's Ubisoft, but we kind of know what you mean.
yeah, because I say that because recently a fan remade, or more accurately, reimagined the original Rayman. And it's called Rayman Redemption, and it is an amazing game. It is an absolutely outstanding port of the original Rayman. It's perfect. It's everything you would want to have fixed about that game is fixed. It's in widescreen. You have more health. You have unlimited continues.
You don't have to get all the Electoons to get to the final boss.
Yeah, you have all of your upgrades to start off with. And on top of that, there's lots of new missions. There's a new store. You get different upgrades for getting the Electoons. It is, I would say it is not unfair to say that it is to Rayman what Sonic Mania is to Sonic. It is that. Why is there so much momentum? Jesus Christ. Okay.
I'd say it's probably closer to closer to like the Christian Whitehead Sonic 1, 2, and CD.
Okay, that's fair. But it is, if you remember the original Rayman and you like it, you owe it to yourself to play that port of the game. It is.
And I've already put you down to play it for BSC.
Yeah, it got me in a Rayman enough mood that I recorded all of Rayman Origins, which is still one of my favorite platformers of all time. I would say Rayman Origins is a better game, but that's nothing against the fan developer who did it. It's just that, it's
a platformer from 1996 versus a platformer from 2008?
11.
No, right.
Yeah, Rayman Origins is one of my favorite games of all time too. So it's hard to beat that. But yeah, Rayman Redemption, absolutely phenomenal game. Can't recommend it enough. I wasn't never much of a PlayStation kid, so I don't know what other PlayStation stuff really deserves a remake at this point.
I'm a Jack guy, so the Jack series.
Yeah.
Or I guess old school Sly Cooper, because kind of going against Kevin here. I'm not the biggest Ratchet guy. I think the games are kind of just a little overly basic in a lot of regards.
That's fair.
It's like they try to get by on the characters, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. And look at how wacky the weapons are, but the gameplay itself is just kind of really basic. So that's why it didn't quite grab me as much.
I said at another point during one of the streams that I think Sly 2 has an argument to be one of the best PS2 games ever made, like one of the top 5.
Yeah, so I would like to see either Jack or like old Sly return.
Yeah.
Just because I feel it's kind of unfair that Ratchet gets to stick around forever, but the other two who did just as well can't.
It's pretty much just that the other two studios moved on, and Sony never really put much effort into holding them forward.
Sony seems to be much more willing to let something go if they think it's done than Nintendo. Well, sort of, because Nintendo definitely does leave series out to dry.
So there was a time with Insomniac's first PS2 game when they partnered with Sony after the Universal partnership had ended. They had 2 games. One was in a very early concept, which was a sort of a Zelda game where your weapons and armor would upgrade like Pokemon. Like they were all based on animals, and they would evolve. That never got anywhere. That never really started. But there was another one, which is now known as Girl with a Stick. It never came out. It was in development hell for essentially about a year. And Sony came to Insomniac and said, look, if you want to go forward with this game, we will support you. We do not think it's going to work, but we're not going to say stop. And I think Ted Price had said, yeah, if they had told us not to make it, we would have gotten angry and spiteful, and we would have made it anyway, and it would have bombed, and we would have went bankrupt. But the fact that Sony said, look, you do what you want. We are here for you, but just think about it. and that was what woke them up. And essentially, Ted Price realized that no one else was liking the idea except for him. Like at that point, and so he was like, "Oh, I'm making a mistake here. I'm sorry." And so they cut it off after a meeting, and within a week, they had the concept of Ratchet down. So Sony's very supportive, but they don't push for franchises. Like they won't push for it. They'll just kind of like let it happen, which is weird.
Yeah, it very much seems like it's very much like they leave it to the studios to decide, because like you said, like they keep making Ratchet because Insomniac still wants to make Ratchet, so they'll be like, okay, we'll take it, but like Naughty Dog doesn't want to make Jack anymore. Sucker Punch doesn't want to make Sly Cooper anymore. They did try to give Sly off to another studio, and that didn't really do that well. And then Jack, I guess nobody else wanted to take it over since the fourth game, so they're just like, I guess it's very much a case of if somebody comes to them and saying, hey, we want to make a Jack game or we want to make a Sly game, then they'll do it. Which is why I also think that the series I want to see more Ape Escape. But it seems like they're like Sony's not going to be like, we want somebody to make an Ape Escape. They'll probably be like, if somebody comes to us and says they want to make an Ape Escape, we'll let them do it.
I think that's one where they know. I think that might be a thing with like that's the one where I think there's a chance that they have something in the pipe. I maybe I'm a little hopeful here, but what I was gonna say was with Sly, it's also not an issue of if a studio comes forward, they'll push it. It's also with Sony because they're so weird sometimes. It's also if a first party studio comes forward and says they want to do it, they'll do it because Sanzaru outright. If I remember correctly, their pitch for Sly 4 was, hey, we made a demo of Paris from Sly 2. And then Sony was like, yo, that's sick, dude. Make the Sly HD collection, and then afterwards we'll talk. And so they made the Sly HD collection, and then Sony was like, all right, you can make Sly 4. But they didn't give them a budget and ended up playing like an early PS3 game that came out in the last year of the PS3. And also came out on Vita when it wasn't really meant to do that.
Oh, how bad is the Vita version?
It's not that bad. Like it was a decent port, but I'm pretty sure Sanzaru also had to work on that version, and they delayed the game by 6 months because it was just not ready. But also they never finished the game. Like there was supposed to be an extra. We found out recently there was supposed to be the Egypt chapter, the big cliffhanger that they ended Sly 4 on, was supposed to be a DLC chapter that'd be free. And then Sony said, nah, the game didn't sell well, so we're just gonna end Sly forever. So the game ends on a cliffhanger again because Sony.
And Sly 4 was like what, like 10 years ago now?
2013, yeah.
Ooh. Oh, that is getting close. That's 7. Oof.
Yeah.
That's very close to The Last of Us.
Yeah, literally like 3 months before The Last of Us. Which, by the way, The Last of Us started out as Jack 4.
Wait, really?
They were very, very early in concept on, maybe we should make a Jack game. Everyone's asking for it. And then they realized that
this is way too dark and gritty even for Jack.
Yeah, because they did like realistic humanoid models for Jack and Daxter, and it looks fucking horrible. It looks like bad.
Ooh.
And there's concept art out there. There's even a limited run special case for just Jack 4 if you got Jack 1 through X, and I have that case actually. And it looks so bad. And it was essentially they just kind of outright said, yeah, we don't make cartoony games anymore, so no, fuck that.
Even though Uncharted might as well be a cartoon for how much shit he manages to just walk away from.
Yeah. But I guess all their squash and stretch animators aren't there anymore. Like, they just all do realistic, like, mocapped animations.
I guess.
Was Ellie Daxter all along? God. Fun fact, by the way, the last Jack game that ever existed, Lost Frontier, the original concept for that story, was written by none other than Neil Druckmann. So, use that if you want to, for whatever you'd like to.
What else did he do? That sounds really familiar.
The Last of Us 1 and 2. And
Wow.
Uncharted 4.
Don't people hate the story in the...
Yes.
Okay.
In Last of Us 2, the people who hate it took everything wildly out of... you mean Jack 4, okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, and
I
I was under the impression everybody hated the story in Lost Frontier for Jack.
Yeah, it's because there was really no effort put into it.
God got his ass kicked by pirates. Because that's essentially the
I found I posted in the general. Is this the picture?
Jack 4. Yes.
Hold on. Oh,
yeah,
God.
Daxter was weird.
Oh, God. Wait.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
You see, what's
Yeah.
annoying is that they're cursed, but not like funny cursed. They're just normal cursed.
Well, the Jack model isn't too bad on its own. The problem is that it's supposed to be Jack.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it'd be a fine model for like a Brink kind of game.
Yeah.
It feels very much like one of those like in a CG reboot of like a property like they you see like for like in movies when like the concept art for a CG reboot of a classic series, like these are kind of like the most realistic designs that you would see. Like that's what it feels like. Yeah, look, Daxter looks like early movie.
Oh God.
Also, there are a couple other donations.
Oh yeah, I meant to get to this. Sorry. If you want to do them, you can do them. If not, I'll do them.
Matt Snacks, $5. 2 questions for Ted. First, what's your opinion on Kingdom Hearts? Will y'all ever record it for BSC?
In terms of recording it, that's on John, because he's the only one who really likes Kingdom Hearts. I haven't played a lot of it. I played like maybe 5 hours of it, and I just could not get into it. I didn't really like the combat, and the story is dumb. And I knew that the story was dumb going in. That's like, just, you just kind of have to accept that. And it could be a good game even if it had a dumb story. I just did not like the platforming felt weird to me, and I didn't really like the combat, so
The platforming is overly stiff kind of no matter what the game. And the combat, to me, is just always... You could use all these other things to try to develop a strategy, but it's an action RPG that's most of the time way too easy, so you can basically just beat the normal game by running around and bonking them with your stick.
Well, to me, my problem was that bonking them didn't feel satisfying.
Let me
really,
know
to
it's not, so...
Like, I don't really, like, jive with, like, flippy shit in those kinds of games. Like, impact, to me, is what's really important. So... The hits didn't have a lot of impact to me, and so it didn't really feel super satisfying to me. And yeah, and since the story is extremely dumb, because it's Kingdom Hearts, I couldn't there wasn't really anything in the game for me to latch onto, sadly.
And I'm not the biggest Disney person in the world, so... just the more as it goes on, there's less and less Final Fantasy and more Disney. It's like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
And then you get to Kingdom Hearts 3, where like they pretty much do Kingdom Hearts 3 as all nothing but Disney stuff, and then
there's no Final Fantasy in there.
Yeah, then you got to go to Remind for the Final Fantasy stuff. Then second question: if I were to start on Dragon West, is that what it says?
They probably typoed Dragon Quest.
Yeah, Dragon Quest, but they spelled it West. They probably spelled it Weast.
Dragon Quest.
Oh, Dragon West. I thought you said Dragon East.
Which one would you recommend I start on?
It depends on what kind of RPGs you like. If you prefer shorter RPGs, like the SNES era, so stuff like Final Fantasy VI or Chrono Trigger or Mother 3, I would recommend starting with Dragon Quest V on the DS. It's also on mobile as well. If you like longer, more modern RPGs, I would recommend starting with 11 on Switch or upcoming PS4, Xbox, whatever.
And then thank you. Put the $5 on Prime 3. You're welcome, Ted.
I have all the current donations up in this.
All right, good. Then $5 from Dr. Nefarious. Greetings from the center of the universe. You squishies have moved this mechanical heart and have caused me to trade my own boats for your earthly currency. I guess I will also put this $5 toward this raffle for a Torna Switch game.
You missed the best part. The center of the universe, give or take 50 feet.
Oh yeah, give or take 50 feet. Oranova, $5. Greetings, I am here to literally drop this money to enter the raffle of Xenoblade. Beyond that, hope you are doing well. Also, congrats on reaching your goal. Ted, hope you are doing well.
Aw, thanks. I hope I'm doing well too.
And
is the 50 feet to the left of Oa, or...
I wish.
Sorry, making a Green Lantern.
Yeah, Big React is always the center of the universe, and the clock is at the center of the universe, give or take 50 feet. And then there's the restaurant at the end of the universe. Then Malictory is $6. Day 4 and 11K. Gasp face. I have joy in my small heart at what this little community can achieve in such short time. I could cry, but I know that if I do, I'll go so hard I'd pass out. And how else will I make dumb messages? Either way. As Nukel says in Essay 1, oh no. Anyways, I feel silly, so could Black Doom, oh no, please recite, not sing, this short excerpt from the song Shake It Off. Please, oh, please, oh. Happy face. Okay,
Is Black Doom gonna talk about his X-Man with his new girlfriend? And oh my
Yes.
god, I'm just gonna shake.
Yes, but first a few other ones. Mr. King Jacob, 9002, $5. Hello, I would like to put this money into that Xenoblade 2 raffle. God, I want Sly back with better writing. And Subaki Paradox, $5. Put this to fuck that dragon. So I had started the Jack games with 2 when I was 10 or so. I beat it after a long time off and on because kid, and I fell in love with the humor. The invulnerability issue and other gameplay stuff is an issue, yeah, but overall the humor and even the basic tropey story kept me going. I played 1 and 3 finally with the HD collection on PS3, and Jack 3 was just the perfect Jack game, going off Jack 2's story in my opinion. Basically, Jack 3 made me a Jack fan, but yeah, time to move on to better things. Checks Twitter. Shudder.
Thank you, everyone, very much for your donations.
Thank you, everybody. What's our grand total at right now?
As of right now, we are at $11,726. That may be give or take $5, depending on updates.
Okay.
All right. Let me do this Black Doom thing. Oh, he's got what do you call? He's got original lyrics. It's not exactly. He goes all out. Goes all out for this. Okay.
Ooh, God.
I stay out too late. Got chaos in my brain. That's what people say. That's what people say.
Oh, God.
I go on too many dates, but I can't make them stay. At least, that's what people say. That's what people say. But I keep cruising. Can't stop, won't stop. Moving. It's like I got this music in my mind saying it's gonna be alright. Cause the player's gonna play. And the hater's gonna hate. Hate. I'm just gonna shake. Shake it off. Shake it off.
Yeah.
Does that hurt your throat to do?
I was gonna say, I
Not really. Honestly, I've done it so much that if I do it for like an extended period of time and I'm screaming,
The hell was
it'll
that?
hurt my-
Sorry. I'm sure
Oh, you-
chat saw what the hell just happened, and
Oh no!
Kit just decided to jump downwards somehow. And no, I'm not losing a health bottle to that game. I want a refund. Anyway, keep on going. Sorry, Stefan.
No, that was it. No, it's just if I'm screaming the whole time, then my voice, then that like mangles my throat. But if I like do it at a if I do it at a correct volume, then I can do it for like a while and just be fine.
Shadow.
Find the Chaos Emeralds.
No.
It's like a thing. Yeah, I know because as a kid, even like as a kid, like the first voice I remember always like messing around with was Stitch. So it's like you have that it's like a more high pitched nasally voice, but you kind of like you're messing around with your throat. Like I messed around with my throat a lot back then, but it's like doing that high pitch was a lot harder to focus on, so it ended up just kind of focusing on a more gravelier voice.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's why I'm able to handle more of like
That more deep, angry, growling voice.
Over more of the kind of scratchy type of loud voice, like this was trying to do.
Whew, okay. I think we're about halfway done with the dungeon now, because we have to go then right down and then back left, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
it said meatwad.
Yeah, it kind of does sound a little bit like that. That kind of meatwad type of voice.
it's a really good meat wad.
I wasn't even trying. I
That was a really good
always
meatwad.
thought I
I'm
did a
impressed.
bad meatwad. Well, it's because I always think of TJ has like the best meat wad, so I'm like, oh, I probably don't have a B.
But yeah, now that I'm trying to do it, like I'm trying to do a Stitch voice, and it ends up coming out more like Meatwad, and it's like, oh, now it's working really well.
I have not to this day ever watched Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
You don't really need to. It's just
It's a show from its time, and that's about it.
it's a shit post series.
Kinda. Like, the only thing that I got a laugh out of it somewhat recently was, it was another, someone was on Twitter was like, if I had to see another goddamn news article about millennials ruining things and having to point out that, you know, we're not teenagers anymore, it's just a clip from, it's an image from Aqua Teen Hunger Force and Master Shake's like, I am 30 to 40 years old. I do not have to put up with this shit.
We have one more donation that just popped up. It is $138.
Wow.
Damn.
The Arcana is the means by which all is revealed. Evening, gents. Well, here in the UK at least. Congrats on making your initial target. The Diabetic Research Institute is such a worthwhile cause, and you're doing great work these 2 weeks. Put this $13. You might want to check your donation there. Put this $13 to giving the dragon a good hard dicking.
Okay,
God.
you folks are going to be very disappointed when we do not actually have sex with the dragon. Gotta point that out there, but all right.
Just make sure. Comment in chat just to make sure that you meant $138 there. And then they continue. Seeing as PlayStation All-Stars 2 is likely never going to happen, let's dream impossible for a moment. Which Sony icon would you like to see poached for Smash Bros? I want Sir Daniel Fortescue from Medieval so badly as I know I'm kidding, or as much as I know I'm kidding myself. I'm going to say Crash doesn't count because he's not a PlayStation character for that purpose.
Yes, but at the same time, he's about as close as we're ever going to actually get.
Yeah, but I think they're saying specifically an actual PlayStation character.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like none of them would make as big of a splash as Crash, though, is the thing, part of the thing.
Yeah.
Because, like, I feel like people would care, well, not even, I wouldn't say care less, but it would make less big of an impact, I think, if, like, the kid from Ape Escape made it into Smash Brothers versus Crash.
I think if anyone from Sony were to get in, it would be Ratchet.
Probably, yes.
I'd say...
the guy says that he was meant to donate $13 and fucked up.
Oh, okay. Well, you might want to check on that. It might let you fix it. I will save that and hold that aside for now before we put it in anywhere, just in case. Or
yeah, I think just put at least the $13 for now, and then if something ends up happening, you put the remaining.
Yeah. So just how do
I fix
that? Would be through GoFundMe? I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, I assume I assume there is a way because I don't think it directly charges you right away. So you might be able to go through GoFundMe and be like, "Oh, this was an accident." Like, take out that $100 and like something dollars. Yeah, and talk to your bank too. Yeah, you should be able to remove so it's just 13. Yeah, it might be easier for you to just remove see if you can remove the whole thing entirely and then redo the $13.
Yeah, we'll see. We obviously don't want anybody to be giving more than they can reasonably afford. So
yeah. So never mind. Yeah, don't put anything for that 13 for now, and we'll figure it out after.
Okay. So I will fix that really quick. With that in mind, our Sonic Advance race is still neck and neck. $9 separates Sonic Advance 2 and 3. So you have till Thursday. By the end of the day Thursday, if you wanna donate to influence that bid war, you are more than welcome to. It's going to be close the entire way through, I think, unless somebody drops a big amount.
Like how Lissa came in at the last second for Fire Emblem Warriors.
Lissa's pretty great though. So
for a PlayStation character in Smash, I didn't end up talking about that. Obviously, I would say Ratchet, but I would love to see someone as violent as Kratos. Just really funny.
Or just really to fuck everyone up, just because it would not fit at all. Would be like Joel or Ellie.
Yeah. We need more realistic. We already have Snake. We need more realistic humans in Smash.
Yeah, but the stuff that Snake goes through is weirder than most of the cartoon shit that the actual cartoon.
Weirder, but not like bloodily realistic compared to Last of Us.
And even someone said Sly. Like I would love the idea of them taking Sly's moveset from All Stars and kind of retrofitting it for Smash, because in All Stars, Sly can't block; he just turns invisible. And it's a really neat gimmick because it's really shitty for one-on-ones, but he has a counter, so it doesn't really matter. But I would love to see that for like a free-for-all, a character that can't block. It'd be a good Smash gimmick, or it'd be a fun Smash gimmick. It wouldn't be good, but you know. Somebody said Abby with the golf club. Jesus. Yeah.
Raiden would be neat.
Raiden would be pretty good.
Considering he's already an assist trophy, but if anyone else from Konami wanted to get in, I would still want it to be Bomberman.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Bomberman feels like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
I feel like it would
Although
be
it's still-
hard to give him a moveset, but they gave a moveset to a character from ARMS, so it's certainly doable.
They gave a moveset to Ice Climbers.
Yeah. Also, yeah, the bosses in this game suck.
I was gonna say
Oh,
Dig
wow.
Dug, but that's Namco. But wouldn't that make? Well, I forget how much development did Namco have on Ultimate?
I
They're
think
the developers. They're like Smash 4. They're the developers for it.
Okay, so they did do it. Yeah, so that means Dig Dug would be Dig Dug would be an easy option to go for.
Well, there's so many Namco characters they could do.
yeah,
Yeah.
the Mappy could be a character in Smash Brothers.
You could
It's
get
so,
Hayashi in
so
there.
weird that they haven't done more. Namco hasn't added in more characters other than Pac-Man.
Yeah,
Well,
no,
Yeah.
they could have done Tekken, but both Sakurai and Harada felt that they wouldn't be a good fit.
Which is, it makes sense, but it's also funny because Harada was very gung ho about putting Hayashi in All Stars.
Yeah.
I find it funny that there's a Twitter post by Harada saying like, "Oh, why wasn't Heihachi in Pokken?" And he's like, the Pokemon fans would bitch too much if we put him in.
My favorite was when he said, "Kiryu and Tekken. I think I'd be a better fit for Yakuza than Kiryu would be for Tekken."
I
And he's not
mean-
wrong. He's not wrong.
At the same time, you put Noctis and Negan in Tekken 7, so
Yeah,
you really don't have much room to
Yeah.
stand on that Harada.
There's no reason not to have Kiryu in, except for that he's trolling at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Everyone's been all for it except for him specifically. Like I'm pretty sure, Sega's been gung ho. The director of Yakuza, who is one of Sega's top gaming figures in that division, has been very gung ho about it. But yeah.
Harada has a T-shirt that says "I don't give a fuck" on it, so he's not gonna do it probably.
No, it's either that or it's gonna be like the last Tekken character, and then he's like, "Yeah, Tekken's canceled. There's never any more Tekken again. You got what you want. Stop asking for it."
They just announced a season 4 for Tekken.
Yeah.
Did they announce the characters? I only just saw.
It's heavily implied the first one is Kunimitsu.
Ooh, that'll be good. I like playing Kunimitsu in Tekken Tag 2.
I can't wait to play Hatsune Miku in Tekken.
Somebody said Fat Princess for Smash. That would be funny. Just because Fat Princess is literally just Peach but fat.
Yeah.
Why do people not like Fat Princess in Sony All Stars? It's like she fits perfectly there.
Is she like a bad character? Like, is she bad to play in PlayStation All Stars?
She's kind of a weird sort of. She's kind of a stand character, not really, but like all of her moves tend to be like either her square attacks or her regular moves. But then she summons the other like minions that she had in Fat Princess as her like triangle and circle moves.
Okay.
It's weird. She's not a bad character. The problem was that game started development in 2009, and in 2009, Fat Princess was one of the best performing PlayStation games digitally. Like it was the digital best hit on the system.
Yeah.
So by 2012, when the game was out, things were very different. Obviously.
Yeah, nobody cared about Fat Princess anymore.
Yeah. The half-life of zeitgeist for the PS3 era was weird. Like no one cared about games a year after they came out.
Yeah, like Warhawk, I remember, was a huge game when
Yeah.
that game came out.
Yeah.
And nobody probably cares about Warhawk anymore now.
There's also when there was nothing else on the PS3 at that time. Like that was the best game on the PS3. Like
There was going to be a really cool stage for early PlayStation All Stars. It was back when they were still actually just making a straight up Smash game. that it was a Warhawk stage combined with the train level of Uncharted 2, and that's back when you could still ring out people in All Stars, and so it was a ring out where it would crack the screen, like as the player flies towards the screen, if you got hit hard. And it was really neat. But then I think Sony at one point suggested making it a MOBA game, and they were like, "No, we don't want to do that." So then, like, I forget the exact timeline. So I might.
They wanted All Stars to be a MOBA game.
When they pitched the game, I think it was supposed to be a MOBA first. So they spent about a year designing the concept of a MOBA, and then Sony was like, "Wait, no, make Smash." And then they were like, "What the fuck? Okay, I guess." And so then they only had 2 years to make the Smash game that they ended up making. Sony again. Fuck Sony. Fuck PS3 Sony.
There's he put in the guy put in the chat that he put in a refund for everything above the $13.
Oh, for everything above.
Okay.
Okay, I didn't catch that part of it. Okay, so then I will.
Well, he said in the post just for everything over the intended $13.
Gotcha. I will.
Yeah, it hasn't shown up yet, but I assume that's what they'll be eventually.
All right. I hope it gets worked out.
Yeah, and then we got $14. Then we got $14 from the Legend of Daniel. You see that dragon? Fuck that dragon. Put this to the dragon. Question for comms. Any recommendations for PS3 or 4 games? I have a few PS3 games and plan to get a PS4 at some point. I have a request for Meatwad if possible. Can I get you sing part of the opening to Endless Possibilities?
That was Legend of Daniel.
Your Sony games.
14.
Yeah, I can't unfortunately recommend many PlayStation games because I didn't grow up with them. So.
Right,
Let's see. Specifically PS4.
PS3,
Persona 5.
PS3 and PS4. Yeah.
Persona 5 / Royal, obviously. Ghost of Tsushima, super good. I'm trying to think what else is on my shelf.
Spider-Man PS4.
Yeah, Spidey PS4, obviously.
The Last of Us.
Yeah.
PS3, the Ratchet. We already talked about the Ratchet and Clank. At least the future games.
The PS3 has so many collections that if you haven't played the PS2 games, there's no reason not to at that point. Because you can, for PS4 games, Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah, best version of that game.
At least to try it. Because you may not love it, but you at least owe it to yourself to give that game a shot.
PS3 has the God of War saga, which has the three main games and the 2 PSP games all in one collection. That's a great deal.
Yep, you can play every God of War game except for 4 on PS3. And the Java game, but we don't talk about that.
Yeah.
And there's also
there was a Java phone God of War hack and slash game.
Oh my god, I need to see that.
There was also I'll send you a link on Discord. My buddy made a video about that one. There's also a Ratchet and Clank Java game for some reason.
That sounds
weird.
Oh man, God of War Java is something I never knew I needed in my life, but that sounds like the greatest thing I've ever heard of.
Apparently, it's at least better than the Witcher Java game, which also
there's a Witcher Java game. Hold the phone. Hold on. I love crappy phone games. Brings me life. Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't think it's based on Witcher 1, but it's a Witcher, I think, spin-off on Java phones, on J2ME. It's amazing.
Another collection I would recommend is the Metal Gear Solid Legacy Collection, which comes with a download code for 1 and VR missions, the HD Collection, which includes 2, 3, and Peace Walker, and then also Metal Gear 4. I think that's a really good set of pretty much all the games except for Portable Ops and
Ghost Battle.
Yep, and I think VR missions is in some, but
original Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2 as well.
Yeah, I think the VR missions is in some versions of the Legacy Collection, but not all of them.
Correct.
Oh, also Infamous. Play Infamous 1 and 2 on PS3.
This is another port collection, but Dead Rising. I love Dead Rising 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so there are just Metroids in this game for some reason.
Same development team, so.
This universe and that universe have nothing to do with each other.
Thank you, Pip.
We have another $10 from Mr. King Jacob. Hello, I just realized I already have Xenoblade 2 right on my shelf. Put that previous $5 and this on Advance 3 to make John sad. Just as a quick question for you, let me know in chat. This is for Xenoblade 2 Torna. Do you have that? Because that's a different game. It was one of the chapters of Xenoblade that they couldn't finish because they were busy making Breath of the Wild because Nintendo's bad. So, you have Torna. Okay, so then I will update that. I will take you out of the raffle, and I will put you.
You know what? I get that feel. There are some times when I look at something and then I forget that. Oh yeah, I do have that game. Whoops.
Yeah, I bought Mario and Sonic at the 2014 Olympic Games twice at Too Many Games one year.
Okay, hold on. Why did you buy it once? Is my question.
I was trying to own every Wii U exclusive that's left, and I forgot that one. That one is on Wii, so I think I fucked up. I think it's on Wii.
At least you didn't get 2016 twice.
Well, I bought 2014 thinking it was 2016 the second time, and I was like, oh shit, that's the wrong one, because that 2016 and 2 other games are the only games that I have left for Wii U that are exclusive that I don't own.
And isn't 2016 a really rare game? Now?
Yeah, that's why I don't have it. It's like $200. I think.
Wait, do you have Hello Kitty? Oh, Hello Kitty Cruisers isn't.
No, not anymore. No, I was going to buy it, and then I was like, wait, no, I'm gonna wait because it might be announced for Switch.
Is it $200? Because I've never seen it for that much. I've seen it go for like $80, which is like a lot, but it's not like
it jumped up at one point. It might be down again.
Whenever I see it for $80, which is like it's a lot, but it's not like unobtainable.
Yeah, I've just been holding off because I don't really care anymore.
All right. Also, let me do Meatwad. First, let me see if I can get the voice right, because I just kind of did it by accident. Is this good? Is this a good voice? Is this a good Meatwad? All right, let me do it. This is my escape. I'm running through this world, and I'm not looking back, because I know where to go, and no one's ever gone, and I'm not looking back. But how will I know when I'll get there? And how will I know when to lead? You've all gotta start from somewhere. It's right there for me. Possibilities are...
Your throat's starting to go there.
Alright, yeah, that's it. You wanted the opening. There you go. I see it now.
How many Wii U... I just need to know, how many Wii U exclusives are left?
I haven't counted recently. Before Tokyo Mirage Sessions, there were about 45 to 50. There's actually a good amount. Most of them are bad. But it also depends on what you count as an exclusive, because I was counting Mario Maker, even though there's a 3DS version of Mario Maker. Essentially, if it was on 3DS, I wasn't really counting it. I was just counting console exclusives just for the sake of arbitrary.
I do know all of the North American released Wii U games are the size of one Scott the Woz. Because he did that thing where he took a picture of all of because he has pretty much all of the North American Wii U games and just have them stacked all up in a row, and they're about the size of his body.
That's actually pretty sad when you think about it, though.
Scott also isn't that tall.
Yeah, it's like...
Still, it's like...
Yeah. 40 games is a very small amount.
Because the N64 only had 350 games total? Or something close to that? Like total, period.
It did not... Yeah, the N64 did not have a huge library.
And the Wii U, counting digital library, has a lot more, obviously, but its physical library isn't that big.
Yeah.
I was looking. I think it's so weird just because of how little we think about the Wii U had, and how bad it was. But then it's like the Wii U lasted longer than the Game Boy Advance, technically, before the successor came in.
Yeah.
The Wii U was like a little over 4 years, and the Game Boy Advance was like just exactly 3 years.
Yeah, I've come to realize just how heavily they leaned on the 3DS during that time. And like the 2 or 3 Wii U, like when they had a hit on Wii U, they milked the hell out of it, like Mario Maker and Smash Brothers, Splatoon.
If you want, I had a document because I was going to do a dumb video years ago, which is why I started buying these up, where I was going to rank every Wii U exclusive left. I might have that list somewhere still, if you want me to go down the whole list. Now, it's going to be incorrect now, I think, but...
Okay. Well, it's certainly better than starting from scratch, right?
I have it. Okay, I do have it. Let me pull it up.
We just got a couple do donations.
Yeah, go ahead.
Daniel Risotsko with another $150. Thanks.
Thank you.
Although he's not here, I want to say sorry to John for the storm damage. Azaius went through my neighborhood too, and while I came out relatively unscathed, 1 or 2 neighbors had tree branches dropped on their cars, and the winds uprooted a tree onto another neighbor's house.
Damn.
Yeah. Put $50 to Ryan's choice in the Super Mario Bid War, another $50 to Ted's choice of Who to Fuck in Dragon Quest, and the last $50 to Advance 2 in that Bid War. So,
my
nice.
50 goes to Saving the Princess. I think
My
I'm like
50
the only person who's donated to Saving the Princess.
I am going to Super Mario World.
okay, yeah, so
Because that's the only thing that's close to lost levels.
yeah, so Kevin, you can put those two Godzilla $10 to Advance 3 because fuck Advance 2. Also, are you Godzilla or Team Kong or Team Godzilla for Godzilla vs Kong?
I am a neutral. I am on the Don't Step on Me party. I would rather not get squashed by either of them. So
Kong is choking out Godzilla. It's like, where did you hear that name?
Save Mothra.
Save
Mothra.
Ryan, you said World, Ryan, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, World and Save the Princess.
Yeah.
I also knew a Mothra Godzilla.
We're
And
best friends.
And $5 from Tsubaki Paradox. Once again, it's not about fucking the dragon, it's about ditching that stupid princess. Put this to fuck the dragon. Great PS4 game is Fury, a twin-stick slasher game where you just fight bosses. It's very short but challenging, and the soundtrack kicks ass. It's worth your time if you don't mind a good challenge.
Interesting.
Looks pretty cool.
I don't know how you do a twin stick slasher game, but sounds interesting.
Basically, you do it with like one stick is each kind of arm.
Oh, okay.
Effectively.
All right. So hold on a moment. I've got to get the map up for stage 3 because I have no idea what the hell I'm doing in this stage.
So we are again $1 separated between saving the princess and fucking the dragon. Saving the princess is winning by $1 though.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Let me pull up. Okay, so the list of Wii U exclusives that are left, I'll explain ones that might be a little weird. Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival.
Yeah.
Warriors Orochi 3 Hyper, because Hyper was not on any other system. Just the Hyper version, just 2 characters. But it's technically different. Wii Fit U, Wii Party U, Wii Sports Club, Devil's Third, Family Party 30 Games Obstacle Arcade, Funky Barn, which is also on 3DS, Game Party Champions, Mario Tennis Ultra Smash, Rabbids Land, Rapala Pro Bass Fishing 2012, which is worth $100 now.
Holy shit.
Rodea the Sky Soldier I counted because all 3 versions are different. But that's you can debate that if you wish.
Well, people only ever bought the Wii U version of that game for the
Yep.
Wii version. Though.
And you can't buy the Wii version separately anyway.
Yeah.
And now you can on eBay. But Sing Party, Sonic Boom, obviously. Sonic Lost World is now on PC and 3DS, but still. Game & Wario, Kirby and the Rainbow Curse, the 2 Zelda HD remasters, because they're technically slightly different. The 2 Mario and Sonic Olympic games, 2014 and 2016, Mario Party 10, Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate is also on 3DS, but again, console exclusive. This was the iffiest one, probably. Need for Speed Most Wanted U, because it had some exclusive content. Nintendo Land, Paper Mario Color Splash, Pikmin 3, Splatoon 1, Star Fox Guard, Star Fox Zero, Super Mario 3D World, Mario Maker, Smash 4, Tank, not Tokyo Mirage Sessions anymore, not Wonderful 101 anymore, Xenoblade X, Yoshi's Woolly World is now on 3DS, Your Shape Fitness Evolved, and Zombie U, which was on Zombie. It was named Zombie on other platforms when it got ported later, with missing features. So there are 39 Wii U exclusive left.
That's really sad. Actually.
And a few of those are iffy based on just having like very minor differences in content.
That was me going more than less because you know how YouTube comments are.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you didn't count this this one game that's a very, very slight port of a different game. It's just like, okay.
And it has one extra costume for a character you never play as.
So it's a different game.
Fatal Frame 5 didn't get a physical release here in North America, so that's why I didn't count it to Golden Member, sorry. But I was counting physical discs that came out, and Fatal Frame did not get one. Unless it did now.
Yep.
I did in Europe. Okay. Yeah, I those don't work for me, so I don't have them. But I could mod my Wii U to do that. Oh well. But of those, I mean, Xenoblade's almost certainly at some point going to come to Switch.
I would be surprised if it didn't, yeah.
Same with, I mean, Tokyo Mirage came to Switch. Everything has a chance of coming to Switch. That was the one game that had no fucking chance, and it did.
They were really running low, I think. And they...
I think it was just, hey, you want Persona 5? This is Persona 4.5. Take it and shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
yeah, pretty much.
It's more baby's first Persona.
Yeah, but it was made by the what would become the Persona 5 team as part of the development. It's fascinating development history for that game.
Where the hell even is the boss in this stage? God. I'm looking at the map and I have no clue where the hell you're supposed to go. Okay. Alright, sorry. Oh wait, no, I know I'm supposed to go left here. Oh wait, no, I can't because... Oh god, okay.
Yeah, Sonic Lost World probably won't get a port to any other system anytime soon. I think they're just going to move on. It's on PC. Yeah. They got what they wanted out of it.
Yes. I don't think that's a game they're ever going to revisit.
Yeah.
I mean, it says a lot that they even gave Lost World a Steam port. Meanwhile, Unleashed just gets nothing.
I have to think that's maybe maybe it was easier just because they had already been developing Lost World recently. It was easier to just port that over as opposed to Unleashed being designed for consoles in mind.
Possible. I do know
designed for consoles that were before technically before modern OSs.
Yeah, because I mean now modern game development may as well be like PC is the first platform, no matter what, even if it's not coming to PC, because the systems are so easy to develop for. Whereas 360 and PS3 were kind of weird.
Yeah.
It's also a thing of like what happened. Like I know like Gareth has mentioned this like a lot of times where it's like back then, like around that time period, was that Sega would like delist the games that like got like poor reviews. Like they delisted 06, they delisted Unleashed, so it's like they don't really they're kind of like more nervous about acknowledging them, so to speak. While Lost World got more kind of, it's more recent, but it's also got more middling reviews, so they're just kind of like we're fine. They're more fine with acknowledging it.
Well, and the funniest thing to me was that initiative was leading up to Generations and Sonic 4. And, well, no, it was leading up to Colors, I'm sorry. It was before Colors. They were delisting any game that got below an 80 on Metacritic. And then Unleashed and Generations both got lower scores than their threshold to delist it. And they never delisted them because they were like, oh, all right, never mind.
Yeah, that was like they put the delist of like 80, and then like Colors got like I think a 70-ish. They're like, nope, never mind.
Like except it sold really well and people really liked it, so it's like we're not going to delete. Yeah.
Metacritic doesn't matter.
It's almost like Metacritic scores have never really mattered.
They did for Obsidian when Bethesda refused to give them their bonus for Fallout New Vegas.
That's so dumb.
By 1 point.
Wait. Are you serious?
New Vegas got, I think it was an 80. New Vegas needed an 85 on Metacritic for Obsidian to get their bonus. It got an 84, so Bethesda didn't pay out, and Obsidian almost went bankrupt. Because they were expecting, bare minimum, they'll get an 85. Because what game doesn't get an 85 in 2010? That's a Fallout game.
And just now on Twitter, I saw that Bethesda started removing all the trailers for New Vegas on all of their YouTube accounts.
Oh, you know that they're bitter about it because the Obsidian made a better Fallout than Bethesda ever has with Outer Worlds, and now they're making an Elder Scrolls styled game just to fuck on them even more.
Oh, they're making fuck Bethesda. I knew that they screwed over. I had heard that they screwed over Obsidian, but I didn't know that it was that petty.
There was a whole thing about how right before Outer Worlds was coming out, that's when they announced Fallout First, that subscription plan for 76. And there were some theories going around that Bethesda announced it just to take the headlines out of people, so that people could shit on Fallout 76 instead of talking positively about Outer Worlds.
No way.
Which that's a little bit too conspiracy for my blood, but I mean, knowing Bethesda,
knowing Todd Howard,
like
he's known for being a troll, so it's like I can see him at least.
So that's why it feels to me like Obsidian's the new game they announced. What was it? Ashen? No, what was the name of that one? The one they announced at the Xbox conference. I forget. Chat will correct me. Whatever game that was, it's supposedly set in the Pillars of Eternity universe.
I was gonna say, you mean the not.
Avowed.
Yeah, the first person RPG.
It's the Honey I Shrunk the Kids game.
Yeah, they're literally making their own Elder Scrolls just to say, look, we'll fucking destroy your own. We'll destroy your livelihood too. See how it feels.
Yeah, basically.
Which
And it'll
I
probably do better than Elder Scrolls 6 at this point.
I would.
Because
Elder Scrolls 6 will probably sell like 30 million copies, knowing that. But
Yeah.
sadly, but
Yeah, I think Bethesda's reputation is too shot to just bank
I
on
hope
easy
so.
sales anymore.
I hope so. But
It's like if it's it on the cover, they might still have a chance, but just Bethesda on their own, no.
yeah, and it's weird because Elder Scrolls Online still does pretty well, and like, it just fascinates me.
It's because there was already a huge install base, and they're not going to. You don't abandon an MMO if you're already
That's fair.
invested in it.
That's fair.
Unless it like gets ridiculously bad, you don't abandon an MMO. You're kind of stuck with it.
Yeah, that's pretty fair.
That's one of the many, many reasons I don't bother playing MMOs.
I tried Final Fantasy XIV. I did the free trial. I tried to play it, and it was fine. Nothing wrong with it. I just couldn't play it. It just wasn't my thing.
I keep forgetting Obsidian did South Park Stick of Truth.
Oh yeah, they got fucked on that game too.
They got fucked on that game too?
Because they were working on it for THQ, and then THQ.
Yeah, and THQ died.
Oh yeah,
so Ubisoft.
THQ in hindsight was kind of a shitty company too.
Yeah. So Ubisoft then picked up the license, and then there was some issue at some point during development with Stick of Truth, and then Ubisoft developed the second game in house and let Obsidian just said, "Hey, yeah, you're not making the next one, bye." So then Obsidian had no games, and that's when they started. That's around when Pillars of Eternity was.
And Stick of Truth was, I think, overall a better game than Fractured Butthole was.
Yeah.
I mean, Stick of Truth was one of the best Paper Mario games ever.
I would be more inclined to play it if South Park didn't bother me so much. Like, I'm just not a fan of the humor in South Park really that much.
Yeah.
So,
I do think Fracture. What also didn't help with Fracture, but because I think Stick of Truth was still at that time where at least for me, the writing didn't get old, so to speak. But I feel like by Fractured Butthole was like that was the point when they were like really starting to just kind of drag their feet and just kind of reuse the same old, and like it was like now like by that point it wasn't really feeling fresh, and I just kind of by that point I kind of got over South Park. So it was less interesting and less enjoyable for me.
It also just got way too mean-spirited.
Well, South Park has always been mean-spirited.
Yeah, but not redeemably so anymore. It was just being mean for the sake of being mean because Matt and Trey just stopped giving a fuck.
Yeah, it felt like beforehand it used to be there was more of a there's more so kind of like a goofy. It's kind of like I kind of liken it to slightly like early Family Guy in the sake of like they're mean spirited, but they're doing it in such a dumb way that you kind of like laugh like you laugh.
You can't take it. You can't take it seriously, even though they are technically making something of a point. Meanwhile, they've just started doing let's riff on current events and be super soapboxy about it, while also being super mean spirited, which makes it really hard to stomach what they're actually trying to say.
Yeah, lately it's been like because they're doing the whole everybody is dumb except us, but the problem is that they're not having any funny jokes to kind of hide that, so to speak. Like
it's just Matt and Trey talking down to everyone because everyone's stupid but except us, except Matt and Trey. Basically, if everyone acted like Matt and Trey, the world would be a really shitty place.
Yeah, it's almost like if everybody's an asshole, nobody wins.
They're much better comedy writers than they are at story writing, which is why like when they started focusing more on story writing and less on the jokes, though their weaknesses really start showing, which is what it's been the past like several years.
There was a brief part during when they were doing the actual arcs that it was like stellar for like a good 4-episode stretch, and then it fell apart.
Yeah, the first time they did it, which was like the first time they did like each episode led into the next, it worked because it was more so kind of like they did it as a joke because they had no idea where they were going to go into the next episode and just said, okay, let's take this little nugget that we did in the last episode, then build on it. But then once they actually said we're doing a whole season-long arc that we're going to plan from the beginning, but still write it week to week, so we're like we know where we're going with it, but we don't actually know. So that when you get to the end, it's just one big anticlimax, and it's you're making
And somebody mentioned in chat there also the issue with that whole season ended with the thing that happened.
The election. Yeah.
So that when you write a whole season planning around one outcome, and
And I don't even think it's not even just that whole issue. I mean, like even like because even when they went on to like the next season where they didn't have to worry about that, they still just kind of did like especially those seasons. I noticed like every episode didn't really have an ending. It'd just be like a build up to the next episode, and then when you finally got to the end of the season, it was just kind of like, oh, now it's ended. Like there was no huge build. Like it's just building up, and then there's nothing, and then it's just kind of like, oh. So if you're not going to tell an interesting like story, like if you're going to tell an interesting story, actually like write it. Like don't save your writing until the week before. Like you can do that for comedy skits and like little like jokey stuff, but not for an actual story.
Yeah, they kind of had to live with the implication of what they did in character for Garrison, and that kind of yeah fun times.
It's almost like all these old animated comedy shows have long since outlived their usefulness and humor and just should just go away and let some other stuff take over.
I'll stand by American Dad still. I haven't watched the recent seasons, but that one can hang around.
And I mean, like, why don't they just stick? Why don't they just go? It's clear that they much more enjoying writing musicals, and Book of Mormon is still great. So it's just why don't they just make another musical?
Book of Mormon, I actually did not. There was funny points about it, but there were parts about it I didn't really care for. And I mean, part of it is just I find a lot of their humor kind of tasteless. And I mean, you can write that off to me being a prude or whatever, but I don't need to hear like rape jokes and stuff like that and giving people HIV. I'm just no thanks. And also there was just some other stuff too.
I get you. Yeah, like Avenue Q, which was also done by Robert Lopez also worked on Book of Mormon, and he did Avenue Q, and I still enjoy Avenue Q, but it hasn't aged a lot. It's dated.
No, it's Avenue Q unfortunately has not aged.
Yeah,
very well.
it's dated a lot. Like I can laugh at like some of the songs and music, but it's like you have to kind of be like,
you have to go back to 2008, which is, you can't always do that. You can't always be in that. Sometimes you can go and be in a 2008 mindset and it works, but sometimes it's just hard to do that.
And Philip just said in chat too, like Seth MacFarlane is far less hateable than Parker and Stone, which I think is true because at worst he's a dude that's just a nerd that is making $100 million a year off of shows that he doesn't even want to make anymore, but he sees the money and then uses that toward other shows.
He's too busy making his Star Trek fan fiction, and be like, hey, people love his Star Trek fan fiction more than the regular Star Trek, so it's like, hey, let him do it.
Hey Kevin, remember that episode where we made fun of Family Guy? Hey,
Lois. But Seth MacFarlane is one of those guys where he seems like a nice enough guy. He's just not the most talented in the world, but he's just talented enough to get by.
Yeah, which I mean, hey, that's good for us.
That's you know what? That's
the weirdest thing with Seth MacFarlane is not so much that he worked on Johnny Bravo's. If you go back to the single cartoon short he did, that's basically proto Family Guy.
Oh yeah, what's it called?
Larry and Steve.
Larry and Steve. Yeah.
It's just Family Guy before Family Guy, and it's like really awkward to go back to.
Which, to be fair, I mean, I've like when I've written projects, like I've used material from old stuff that never sees the light of day in the new stuff, like jokes.
Not saying that's wrong. It's just weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird when you see it, I guess, is the thing, because a lot of that stuff stays behind closed doors,
Yeah.
Until you remember, the YouTube comes along and someone uploads that Larry and Steve from 1996 or whatever it was, and you go, oh god, this is just Family Guy.
Yeah, well, there was two kinds. There was the Larry and Steve, which is the one that was like uploaded on their on Cartoon Network's like cartoon pilot series, which is like the one where like
we don't know what's a greenlit, so let the audience decide.
Yeah, but then there was also one called Life with Larry, which is basically literally just the pilot of the first Family Guy.
Almost
story and the jokes are all the same, but that wasn't something that was ever released. That wasn't released until after Family Guy started. It was nobody saw this, so I'm just gonna take it.
And I think he spent 6 months doing all the animation for that himself, which is just the dedication to that. Like obviously, I know a lot of people animate and don't get millions of dollars from it, but it's just. You got to give him credit. Like he had the dream, he lived it, and now he gets to make Star Trek and Cosmos whenever he wants, and make his own shitty movies and give his friends jobs. He's Adam Sandler. He's Adam Sandler now.
Yeah, Adam Sandler.
He's Adam Sandler with a modicum of talent.
Yeah.
And he makes albums because he's a damn good singer.
Oh yeah, because he does.
He
was
does
trained by
have a
Sinatra's
damn
parents.
good, like, almost Sinatra-y kind of voice.
He was trained by one of the Sinatras. I think it was Sinatra's parents or
Dude,
Well,
kid.
Sinatra Jr. has been in Family Guy a couple times.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's fascinating. Like, it's like
Yeah,
it's
poor Frank Jr. He had nothing. He had no life of his own.
yeah.
That's hard when your dad's Frank Sinatra, though. Like, I feel like you can say that about almost any
Any junior
son of a
or second.
celebrity
Yeah.
or daughter of a celebrity. You know.
Well,
yeah,
yeah, but Frank Jr. is particularly bad because it's like you can tell what he wants to do, but he has no opportunity to do it.
What does he
Whereas
want
we're-
to
we're-
do?
Well, he still wanted to be a singer, but he didn't want to be just Frank Sinatra Jr. about it.
But I
Yeah,
think
that
his
makes
dad,
sense.
Like, toured with him a lot, so it was like really tough because you had to be Sinatra Jr. then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, meanwhile, you have guys like Will Smith's kids who are just all maladjusted in their own way.
It's
Or I mean-
it's. I mean, it's hard to feel sympathetic about it when they grow up with every living luxury
Yeah.
that you can possibly.
Yeah, no, I don't feel bad for them. I'm just pointing it out that there's a
But, I
difference between
mean-
guys like Frank Jr. versus
I-
modern day celeb kids.
There
I
is
can empathize.
you have someone like Joe Hill, who is the son of Stephen King, but like he gave himself a pseudonym so no one would know, and then like he brought himself up into the industry of being like a great author and comic writer, and then after that he's like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm the son of Stephen King. So
I mean, shit,
people judge him before like that.
Ash from Game Explained, isn't his dad Rob Paulson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's another like that's that or there's this one wrestler in AEW, Jungle Boy, who was Luke Perry's son. Well, is Luke Perry's son, but Luke Perry passed away.
Hi, Luke Perry.
And it's like you see that, and like you see like Luke Perry was like super proud of him, but he didn't they didn't talk about it because it was like Jungle Boy Jack Perry wanted to make his own name first. He didn't want to be the son of Luke Perry. He wanted to be this pro wrestling dude.
And especially living in the spotlight like that and having, I'm sure it does weird things to your head.
Somebody asked who Luke Perry was. Are we
Ugh.
old? 90210.
No, to be fair, I'm probably the only one here to remember 90210 when it was actually airing.
My sister watched it. That's all I remember.
Was she? You're how old again?
24. She's
Okay,
old.
so she probably was watching reruns when you were a kid.
Ted, quick question: how much longer do you think the game is?
10, 15 minutes. This is the last stage. The controls are really bad, though. I forgot just how bad the final stage controls are. Like, Pit moves super sluggishly.
I just thought about it. Isn't there a Kid Icarus special version?
Yeah,
that
there's
has
the
all-
3D Classics version, which...
No, I meant on the Switch Online.
Yeah,
wasn't there-
I don't know what it does, though. I don't know what...
I thought it was like max health or something like that, like easy mode.
Oh, okay. I
just thought about that.
I don't know. Yeah, the special versions are weird because it really is just a Nintendo authorized save state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fascinating. Oh, it starts here at the
What-
final level. Never mind.
Well, what I really wish they would do at some point, which they're never going to, is release the broadcast to Teleview versions of their games.
Yes.
That would be
Yes.
great because those are practically lost to history as far as I can tell, right?
The
There's-
Zelda ones
there's
are on cards.
Zelda one is available. BSF Zero is available. There's like 2 or 3 more that are available.
I forgot they had an F-Zero. Oh my god.
It's effectively F-Zero 2.
That's fucking fascinating.
Yeah.
Man, 90s shit was so weird and cool. Which I know is, hot take, but
Yeah.
The 90s were a hell of a time.
It's weird how they have streaming gaming better in the 90s than they do now.
take that, Sony.
Well, take that Stadia, take that
Yeah, everything.
XCloud, take that PlayStation.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm really sorry for everybody watching because this is giving me headaches
Oh,
looking
yeah.
at it. So
Yeah.
I would recommend
Flash
anybody...
and shake.
Yeah, and anybody with what is that stuff called? Seizures
Epilepsy.
might wanna look away because that's hurting my eyes.
There was a Fire Emblem DLC for the first.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
The only Satellaview thing that resurfaced again was BS Fire Emblem as DLC. Oh, I see. He's saying that there was a DS Fire Emblem that we never got in the West that had the BS Fire Emblem stuff as.
Oh.
Okay, so
okay.
they probably just remade the maps and stuff. Yeah.
That's so neat. I know BS Zelda is definitely around because I've seen carts for 1 and 2 and then 3 and 4.
You know, Greg's played it on his stream.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
awesome. I wish I had seen
how did they save that, though, is what I want to know. Like,
You had flash memory back then, and someone, when the event was going, must have just saved it.
it. You only need one. You only need one
Yep.
person out of the 60 million SNES owners.
it was only like one person who ever recorded the Star Wars holiday special. So,
Yeah.
Anyway, that's Kid
fascinating.
Icarus. It's
Good
fine.
job.
Yay.
Nothing wrong with it.
Good run.
Yeah. Like I mean, it certainly was a run where I cheated a hell of a lot. But yep, this game's okay. What are our donation totals?
We
at?
are currently just over $12,000.
$12,000.
We're
Damn.
at $12,058.
Wow. So that's
Probably
we
gonna be-
raised wow, almost just 2,000 in the first half of today. That's awesome. So,
Yeah.
do we have any last minute donations before
Nothing
we
popped up yet.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, we raised just over. It was $2,003 in the first two runs.
Wow, nice. So thank you so much to everybody who donated. Coming up next is Torna. We will find out what we're going to do regarding the
Castlevania race.
Castlevania race. Oh, you can start the game again with your power-ups. No. I'm good, thanks.
I mean, to be fair, that's not a bad extra for an NES game.
Yeah, I would take that.
Yeah, but
we do have one more
I think I've had enough Kid Icarus for today, so I'm gonna call it there. All right.
Yep.
Yeah. So coming up next is Torna. We will see you all then.
Just
Later.
before you hit the last thing, one last donation, $5. No
Awesome.
comment from Anti-AI Allegiance. Thank
Thank
very
you,
much.
Auntie. Thank you so much. All right. Torna is coming up very soon, so you all should stick around for that. Bye.